So it's been a while since we talked about storytelling, but there is so much, even if you're only in the art side, that being a good storyteller will help you with your art. If you're in more than the art side, role-playing, all the tabletop games, the collaborative storytelling, especially the kind we do on the Discord server, they are benefited greatly by being able to do a little storytelling. So today, in today's video, I am going to talk a little bit about the roles of players and GMs in storytelling, that it's not just the GM telling the story. And then I'll give you examples of the five different levels of participation, if you will, so that you can know what to work on. We'll talk a little bit about pitfalls and things to watch out for, although the hang-ups for storytelling will probably get its own video at some point later. But let's jump right in. On to the levels of storytelling. So level 1 is a cop-out, and this is maybe you're bored with the game, or maybe you can't think of anything to do. Examples of this would be, I am going to ask the NPC what to do. Now this is a fine thing to do every once in a while. Obviously there's going to be times where the person telling the story, left out details that your character would need. But just saying, I will participate, or just saying, I'm going to do a check, that's great and probably will accomplish some mechanical things in the game, but you aren't moving the story at all when you have that. Usually these are single action or just a couple of word responses if you're storytelling. But really, what you're telling yourself and the other players and the GM is, I don't really want to participate, and I want somebody else to do it for me. I just want to watch the dice and see the probability, and then cheer if it happens to go the dice roll I wanted. So level 2, we're actually beginning to talk about our character's motivation. Instead of, I'm going to go eat breakfast, it's, I'm hungry, so I'm going to go eat breakfast. Now we have an actual cause and effect. That guy's looking at me funny, I'm going to go fight him. That's a cause and that's effect. And in storytelling, it is a million times better than level 1. Just having an action with no investment really is hard to perpetuate the story from that point. So talking about the motivation of your character really helps moving the story forward. Level 3 is reflection, and this is the first stage where we are actively behaving as the character and not the player or puppet master. So in reflection, this is, I'm recognizing something about myself, in this case being the character, speaking for the character. The character recognizes something in themselves that causes the need that we talked about, the motivation in the second stage, and then the reflection comes to a conclusion by the character. So a character saying, I missed dinner because we hiked through the day and I wanted to be able to get to the next city and not waste any time. It means I skipped dinner, it means I'm hungry, I'm going to go eat. And that will hopefully mean that that I will no longer be hungry. Or my character has in their backstory that their village was raided by orcs, so my character is going to lean towards the bias against orcs, the sides of decision making. That's why I am thinking this guy is looking at me funny, so I'm going to fight him. Even though player me might know that's a bad plan, that might ruin our diplomacy that we're trying as a party, that might, like fill in the blank. Now we have a in-character decision made because of something the character realized. Level 4 is our description stage, and this is getting to be where it'll increase your fun, but it's not really a necessity for role-playing. I mean, not everybody is going to be good at this right away. This is something that you can practice, but description can be vocabulary, but it doesn't have to be. It can be length of description, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a list of details, and I actually did get a little bit descriptive in my level 3 description, but a descriptive language, probably we would see this more in the writing side rather than the live play spoken side. But choosing specific language is a skill that will increase your public speaking capabilities, your comfort speaking to others, your writing capabilities, more even just in the storytelling. This is going to help you in every facet that has language in your life. This is a zooming out from the character. So while we want to recognize these things about the character, the description from the player here is going to be possibly different than how the character would actually be able to speak. But description is really acknowledging that the character is in a world with other people, with some situations happening, and it's a way to put your character into the world that they're in. So a lot of times this will take some setup questions, like if we're on a dock, is it slippery? If we're on the beach, is there driftwood? Like gathering those bits of information before setting up the description is kind of an important, or if you have the free range ability for storytelling, depending on the game and your own personal GM and all those things, if you have the avenue to just create those things, even better. Just assuming that trees would have leaves, or clouds would be white, or like acknowledging those things within your storytelling is going to really bring the other players or the reader or whoever is your audience into the story with your character. Level 5 is referred to here as backup plan. It is the if-then. No matter the best of intentions, no matter the best of storytelling, sometimes the dice do not roll what we want them to. And sometimes characters and NPCs in other parts of the world don't behave in the way that we wanted or needed them to. So we called this stage the backup plan because it's really providing as a time saver. If I fail at this thing I've described in my other 4 levels, then my character would feel this, or do this, or react in this way. We're at a stage of storytelling now that you don't have to do this for a good story to happen, but doing this will provide information on your character that you maybe feel is important. It helps kind of define how the other players should expect you to act in the future in similar scenarios. And this is a great place, if you haven't done so already, to loop back and actually provide that motivation again, because and this storytelling is cyclical, so this can go on as many, until you reach that point where you or the team or the GM decides that you've been in the spotlight for enough minutes. The backup plan does loop you back to a motivation. So if you've failed in the task that you've described, what is your character going to be doing next? I couldn't make a storytelling, world-building video without acknowledging our writers over in the Discord server. Now, these guys are phenomenal. Each one is at a different stage in the levels, but it's a ton of fun. A lot of amazing stories get written, and I would invite you to check it out, and you can see some of the story writing examples of the different levels there if that's something that you're interested in. In the comments, I want you guys to write a response as your character to a story, some action, some part of the story. It can be a story that's already written that you're dropping yourself into. It can be one that you're making up, something entirely new, something that you use with your players or you got from a GM/DM. But try and write something in the comments that puts a character in a scenario at each of these 5 levels. So let's see these in action. You guys survived me again. I love world building and storytelling, and I just can't wait to keep making more stories. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks, Internet. I think I am getting close to being able to do the 100 subs video. We just hit 100 subscribers, and I am going to still make a thing dedicated to that milestone. The floor level, the ground level. Level. Maybe there's Flelson level floor. Woof.